Awesome. Welcome back to the Model Student, where we're not afraid to fail to succeed. Anyways, as promised, we're working here with the Monogram 135 scale tank, and it's coming along pretty good. I'd say we're pretty well finished, if you ever are really finished. But, I've really enjoyed this build. It taught me a lot. I learned a lot on this one. I used some oil washes and some combinations of products that I hadn't used. The dirt effects, the mud effects by AK, this stuff here. Pretty good product. I mean, it worked really well. It's easy to use, cleans up pretty easy if you thin it right out and just put like I guess what you call a filter. Just thin it right out and you just wash it over top. It leaves like a nice dusty effect on your model. So I'll get the overhead fired up and I'll show you some plans that I've got. I printed off some, let's get you going here. I printed off some bolsters for mooring bolsters for a pier that are going to go on the base that this tank is on, because I want this tank nestled up beside a 135 scale boat. Now, while I was building this kit, I guess unfortunately I threw away, here's something you might want to be aware of. I threw away a sprue that still had part 4D off of sprue D, I guess. Is that D or is that paint color? Anyways, it's part 40. This little railing part here I lost. And yeah, I guess I threw it out when I threw out the sprees. I thought I'd cut all the parts off. So I've taken a piece of wire, just basic mechanics wire, and I've cut off a couple pieces of a Q-tip. And they fit right over top of the wire. So I think that if I bend this into the correct orientation, and then drill a little hole and put some of these end pieces on here, I think that'll work as a substitute once I get some paint on it. So I'll CA glue these into position and get this bent in today while I'm finishing up. And I think I'm gonna give these a little sand and prime up these bolsters and moorings to set on top of our base. And I'll just set our tank aside for a second here. And I will show you the base. So here it is. I'm kind of close to the camera, but you can get a look at it. And all it is a piece of styrofoam that I took, and I just torched the surface of the outside of it so that it wouldn't flake away. It seems to cauterize it and keep it so that it'll stop making little styrofoam balls on you. But I decided to cover it with what this is, just the cork that you'd get from the dollar store. Works pretty well, I think, for concrete. And then I based it in a black, and I just dry brushed grays in different tones over top of it, and I used some different pin washes and stuff to create the oil stains for vehicles, and then I used some tile grout and some of the AK mud effects to simulate the track marks across the surface of the concrete, and I think it turned out looking not bad for my first attempt. And the tank sits on it pretty well. I've just got it up here on my paint turntable for now, but I think it looks pretty good sitting on there. And yeah, I'm really happy with this tank, and I think it looks so cool. I'm really happy with fiddling around. I like the armor because it gives you lots of room to express yourself, like lots of playtime. You can bugger up the paint. I have pets, so fur is a constant battle with me, and keeping fur off of my models while they're drying in paint is pretty hard. But yeah, I really like these mud effects. You can see they made a good representation of the mud splashing up on the front of the vehicle and through the tracks and the wheels. And so there's a little bit of final gluing. I thought I lost a part, but I found it. It's this little toe ring here. You can see just one of these little rings that goes right here on the side of the turret to match the other one. So I thought I lost it. It popped off yesterday while I was doing the final glue together. But I did find it, so that was good. And then just one last thing, I made these. So these I made with, I just made these. You can take a look on the overhead there. I made these with just, I took some cubes of styrofoam and a couple small pieces of wood and trimmed them up, and then I just wrapped a paper towel. I used the blue shop towels. They work really good. They give you like a sort of a canvasy sort of surface to paint on, and I just soak them in, you know, glue, water glue, construction glue, craft glue, and then just molded it around and let it dry and then painted it. So I made a couple of those. There's another one over here somewhere. Yep, right here. And they're just gonna sit, you know, here along the side of the dock. And I think they'll fit in very well with some of these, which are the pre-made. Get that in the overhead for you. The pre-made resin cast accessories, which I think will look good sitting around. And then here are the bolsters that I've made right here and here. And I think once I paint them up and give them some hairspray and some chipping, I think they'll turn out looking pretty good. So, and those were printed on the 3D printer. You know, pretty basically easy print. They were free on Thingiverse. Thingiverse is really good for free prints if you're looking for stuff. We found a lot of things that we could print off of Thingiverse that were free. You know, you just got to go through the file and sort of sort out what works for you, what doesn't. But so far, so good. Anyways, those are going to be the bolsters. So I got a few of those to settle on the front, on the base. And next episode, I will bring out the kit that is going to go in the diorama beside this tank, which is a boat. First boat I've ever built. And it's turning out not bad. You be the judge anyways, but I'm pretty happy with the success. Now, I did run into some paint trouble like I did on the Hind, which I'm going to go back and revisit, I think next week. During the course of me moving downstairs, a few of my models got some broken bits, and they were getting dusty from being put into storage while I moved my workshop and my storage and my display case. So I figured it maybe I would go back to it and get it glued back together and get it fixed up. So probably we'll take a look at that next week too. But anyways, for this week's wrap up, that's where we are with the tank, and I'm gonna push ahead with the figures. Here I have several figures that came with the kit. And I've just started working with those. I've got those to put together and paint. That's these here. And here's the guy that's going to be working on the engine. So I've got a few figures to do and some work to do left on the pibber. And, well, I guess that lets it out of the bag. The next kit is the, just a second here now, so yeah. The next kit that we're working on with this is the Pibber Boat by Tamiya. And this kit is awesome. This is an awesome, awesome, awesome kit. This is probably one of the best kits I built so far. So cool, so much fun. This turret assembly here and the inside of the cabin and stuff. Really, really, really cool kit. I can't wait to get it out to show it to you because I think it's coming along really good. And I tried an experiment for the base, and I got some footage of it, but again, it was through the camera that was buggered up at the time. So I don't think I'm going to use much of that footage because it didn't really turn out very good. If anyone who saw the last video on the Patton Tank, yeah, it's a little bit bad. So I think I might just scrub all that and then just, you know, show you what I've got to the point where I'm at, and we'll just move forward from there. But anyways, this is what's coming next week. This is what we're going to be building. I hope you have a great day. It just happens to be Super Bowl Sunday on the day that I'm recording this. So if you are a football fan, have a great Super Bowl. Enjoy yourself. Be good to yourself and be good to each other, as Lou says. And we'll see you next time on The Model Student, where we're not afraid to make mistakes. All right, cheers. See you later.